Well, pack. If you saw the previous video where I go on a hunt for canvas and then I end up leaving a gallery, this video backs up straight after that. It's a sequel. It's an entirely different venture. Bluethumb is ripping artists off. Here you go. Actually, I forgot to add a bit more lore behind this. So I document the behind the scenes of being an artist. I'm an artist. If you feel like supporting me, come over to Patreon and see what I've been doing the past year. And this actually happened a year ago, and I'm very sure they're still doing it. Some guy is replying instantly and he wants the canvas. Like, is this what the universe wants me to do? Like, you want me to sell? And now I've pinned it. So this bitch, Naomi, oh my god, she is screwing me over because I'm Bulgarian. I have to email Bluethumb because I'm blocked from even messaging the moderator. And here are the screenshots. And I watched the screenshots, I'm like, I don't look mean at all. Like, why did I get removed and blocked? Like... But this was incredibly unnecessary. This was unfair. I did not like the situation. Stop being racist. The past couple of days have been uncomfortably turbulent. There's a fork in my rabbit holes. This turns into a Bluethumb, a bit of a deep dive on what Bluethumb's up to. This is my bird shitting all over Naomi's. I made an update yesterday, but it was a bit long-winded. Now that I've removed myself from the gallery, I also look like a scammer because a curator looks at my art and they would be like, and you see what I'm doing, you'd be like, this chick is going places. But you look at, what's her name, Naomi's art, and you'd be like... So Stephen from Bluethumb responded and he just doubled down. He was like, yes, you were rightfully kicked out for bullying. Furthermore, there's this other rule where you can't sell to people in there. And I just thought, like, that makes sense if I'm trying to like go around the gallery and sell art, or like if I'm a supplier and I snuck in there. But politically correct people have no sense of context, and it really irks me because they grab this small thing and then they go, I can vilify you for this. And like, the overall sense when I was reading that email was just like, Stephen's on a power trip. Like, I don't know, you're making money off me. Why would I stay with you? No. So I don't like the entire situation. So I was like, remove me off the gallery. This is the final straw. I'm done with this shit. I'm so done with Bluethumb. Like, they've screwed me over so many times in the past. Wondering if I should like remove each painting and only put up one that's like Bluethumb's shit. Nah, it's less drama to just leave them. I had instructions how to leave them because I hate them so much. Like, I had instructions somewhere, but I think they're on my hard drive. I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out. Okay, I actually have to tell him he's a piece of shit. Could be a rash decision. I've always fucking hated Bluethumb. They're so shit towards artists. And he goes, oh, I think you should think about this for a little while. Stephen doesn't want me to leave. Like, business-wise? But I don't want to be associated with you. I could state my case why they're so shitty towards me, but this is business and I'm very to the point, so... Bad look, Bluethumb. I was like, no, I'm out, I'm out, this is not cool with me, this whole thing. So I genuinely believe my career is going to take off, and when I hit critical mass, the plan was that I would just leave Bluethumb. That's why I had it ready. So those two things, hitting critical mass and being on Bluethumb, were not true in the same world. So I was going to leave anyway. Plus, I believe that like people who are meant to have my artworks will find them. Like, it just somehow, like this guy recently is a total diehard fan and he found, I don't know how he found my website, but he did, and he loves the art and he bought a few, and I was like, cool, like you're fantastic. And I looked at the planets. And you know, when I looked at the planets, Uranus was squaring Chiron, and I thought like, oh, that explains the turbulent. It's still turbulent. It's still very turbulent. And then I looked a bit further ahead, and then it's going to go and square Mars. So I'm kind of like, the universe is cooking something up, and it's uncomfortable. But if I chill and just... I want to make this as concise as possible because this is not the Bluethumb show. This is the Vanessa's on a Canvas Hunt show. So Bluethumb sent an email according to a review I left. And the reason I left a review is because years ago they asked all the artists to leave reviews. So it's like, it's really going to pump up their Google reviews. And I left an honest review being like, what the hell is up with the commissions? Like, it's all right. But as time has passed, it's become clear to me how toxic Bluethumb is to the artists. They do this thing where they say that if you have the price here, you can't beat that price anywhere else. If you have a market stall, you can't beat the price or you get kicked off. And they have this sense of community and they've got their own prize, and there's a bit of nepotism going on, and it's very much like it makes the artists feel like they don't have any other footing to sell their art. Like, it's almost like control and isolation. I guess some people would think I'm exaggerating, but that's how I feel about what they do. So they emailed me the first time. They're like, we need you to change your review. So I wrote, I like the sales I sell through Bluethumb. And then I wrote another review now that I'm not connected with them and they have no control over what I say. And I said the same thing. And I was like, I don't like how they do this. There's weird rules and I don't like how they sided with this woman. Anyway, and so this representative from Bluethumb just sent me an email and she's like, we're sorry about the frustration you were caused. And if you're going to mend the bridge here, it's kind of like, can you say sorry about vilifying me for standing up for myself against a woman who was being slanderous, using racist claims? Can you address that? So they didn't. Instead, she said, sorry about the frustrations, and she wants me to remove the review. And then she pinpointed my numbers were wrong, and she said, we're going to have to take further action. So I'll invite you to take the further action because you don't control me. Here is my review. If it gets taken down, then it gets taken down, but at least it lives on in my documentation of whatever I'm doing through my career. So this first one, this first paragraph mentions how I can write an honest review this time. The second paragraph mentions how their rules are a bit off, like how they kick off the artists based on that rule. And this is what makes them look really bad. And they don't want people knowing this, but other artists have brought it up and they've been like, what the hell is this? My number was wrong with there. It's 30% commission. They do add 9% GST because that's the law. You have to add 9%. It's not 3%. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But I lose almost 50% of each sale. So is it postage? You're adding something there that I don't know. This paragraph references to when I was kicked off. This paragraph references when I gave them very detailed feedback and they didn't even say thank you. And they actually implemented all the changes. Their website is so much better. This paragraph references when they backed that woman. That was a weird situation. I think everyone would agree with me that that was a weird situation. I wasn't being offensive in any way, but I was being told that I was. So that's what that one references. This part references how the gallery, their overall vibe is decor and prints, which destroy the art industry. And that's something I preach very often throughout my career. So I agree with that. And it also mentions how Stephen couldn't see the situation with context. And this part references how other galleries don't bring me any drama. So I believe that overall my review was true. And if it gets removed, then it gets removed. Where are my other reviews? Oh, here's the first review I left for Bluethumb. I should really change the stars on that. And then this was, I only leave reviews when people request reviews from this account because it's linked to my website. I guess that one's not such a great look for me, but 2020, when they first asked for a review. This particular company, I wouldn't follow their reviews on Google because this is the first time they said, remove your review, it would be really appreciated. Okay, so here's my response. Here we go. Here I addressed the commission because they wanted feedback and it's like, sure, if you want the feedback, I'll give you the feedback directly. I don't have to do it through a review. But now I'm like, no, people need to know. So that's why I did it through a review this time. This is the commission thing. There you go, that's out there. Communication, they do this weird thing where if something's up with the order, you can't contact the person who's purchased the artwork. You have to go through Bluethumb and everything's very monitored. It's very odd. Yeah, so I gave them a suggestion about what they could do there. And the best price thing. So this is what I was talking about before. Yep. I think I sent them a screenshot of my spreadsheet. So this is where they know that I've got better artwork somewhere else, but they don't kick me off. Categories. Here I addressed that they were very decor. They actually did fix this. They fixed a lot of things because of this email, and I guess not the commission thing. I added screenshots, and this was in 2020. So for the past 4 years, they've known through my spreadsheet that I've been selling the artworks elsewhere for a better price. And I aim for this price. No matter where I'm selling it, that's what I get. So Bluethumb does not change how I function. And then I showed them this is what Artfinder does and exclusive to Artfinder. So I was like, maybe you should do something like that instead of forcing the artist's hand. And then I showed them this other art gallery that doesn't function anymore. And I was like, look, they've got all these categories. If you want like people who are genuinely interested in art, you have to have these. And they did implement that. And then I wrote this other thing. This is from Saatchi Art. And I was like, Saatchi Art has all these, because you've got the style and then you've got the genre. And Bluethumb didn't have either of those. They just had keywords. And then I was like, you've got subjects in the other galleries. And then I was like, these other galleries, like, look at how well they're done. Well, of course, I got this generic thank you, but the fact that they fully went and developed their website and changed it based on what I told them, I think I deserve a better thank you, because I kind of helped you out a lot there. I found the other artists. I need to contact these people. Oh, look, all the bad reviews are from artists. Yep, all the bad reviews are from the artists. 6 other people like this. That means there's 6 other artists that feel the same way. I just want to know these people. Okay, so you see how like the things that I mentioned in my review are linked to actual events, and I'm not just making shit up. But if they do get it removed, it's like what's Google gonna do? Jail me? Like this whole like threatening language, I'm not a fan of it. Let's be real. Let's start being actual humans in a community. At least it lives on through my video. Is this turning into another video? I want to dig deeper about these other artists' experiences. I'm doing it. I'm digging deeper. I'm going to make a little video on this. Ivana's going to be easy to find. This is an example of what I meant by Bluethumb makes artists feel like they don't have other places to be. Plus, John has the same name as a 17th century artist, so that's a shame. I can only see this Bluethumb. And then I clicked on this because I was like, maybe this is another lead. I can't see his face. I don't know if you're the same guy. I would say this is the same guy. I want to email him. Do you think, is this a gallery only for his art or what's going on here? So it's like, hey, long story short, I've decided to do a little digging on a mini research. I guess this is how I'm spending my time. I saw a review John left and I want to get a fuller picture. Ivana, she was easy to find. It looks like she also has all her eggs in one basket with Bluethumb. And I was like, hey, I'm doing a little digging. I'm documenting this and I saw your review. Blah, blah, blah. Send. This chick Millie, she's hard to find. Am I hard to find? Let me see. Incognito, so there's less biases. Oop, Vanessa. Let's see, how hard am I to find? Not hard at all. There's my website right at the top. Yeah, I'm not hard to find at all. I did click on this one after I was removed and they have fully removed me, which is fantastic. Okay, I typed in her name on Bluethumb and I can't even... Did this woman remove herself or something? Nah, she's not even on the gallery herself. Oh, I wonder what happened there. What happened there, Millie? Let me see. I'm still hunting. The only thing that I have to go on is the fact that she's in Sydney and it was the first thing to come up. This name doesn't match, but maybe I'm going to message her and see. Sent. Okay, I didn't dig very deep on this one because I'm kind of like, all right. I'm just going to message here. I was like, hey, Jackson Luke, I'm doing a little digging. I'm also documenting this for Behind the Scenes Adventures. I went to the other one. Shem is someone I really want to talk to. And then I think it'll be biased just to get opinions of artists. I want to know what... Actually, it's biased just to get bad opinions. I actually probably can't contact these people because they won't have like websites about who they are. This guy's really irked. The bit that made me read more is because he said he hopes that the artist got most of the money. And it's like, that's not true. That didn't happen. Sorry to let you know. But he's got an alias, so I can't contact him. Oh, he's still using Bluethumb. Is he a he? Is he a child? Let's contact him. Hey, Shem. Doing a little digging on Bluethumb. I'm documenting this for behind the scenes. I don't know if I have to tell people that, but I think I should tell people that. I would love to know what happened in this situation. So the courier lost it and she got a full refund. So what happened to the artist in this situation? Because I bet Bluethumb screwed them over, to be honest. There's no way I can Google her. Probably not famous. All right, Phil's next. I love this review. I love this review. Yeah, Phil's got his shit together, man. He's on more than one place. Fantastic. He doesn't have his eggs in one basket. Well done, Phil. Which one am I going to click on? Is there a direct one I can click on? I think I was wrong. Phil's on the right track. He just needs to, like, make his own website or something. Aha, found ya. Might want to take that down. You'll get kicked off Bluethumb. Phil was the one with the sarcastic review, and I really liked it. I think they made him change it, so I want to know what he actually thinks. It's a bit sad that he also has all his eggs in Bluethumb's basket. You need to get yourself a website. Get out there. Mark Simpkins is promising. He's got it on ArtPal. I also have art in ArtPal. ArtPal does not make any sales. It's literally just promotion. So he's got a Facebook, he's an art director on TV. His art is really interesting. Do you think they're prints? I hope they're not prints. Let's see. What is this? It's digital. Okay. I'm not here to judge the artist, I'm here to get info. Get out. Does this guy actually have his own website? Is this the first one I come across? So it's called the Balmoral series instead. And this looks just like his art. So I think, and what was his name? Mark Simpkins. Mark Simpkins. Mysterious J. Let's contact.
I'll finally know what J stands for. From this moment forth, I will be known as Homer J!
Okay, so I'm telling Mark, I'm like, hey, looking at other people's experiences, I know that they wanted people to have 5 stars only, and I'm curious about your one. And I'm documenting this, just so you know. Maybe I will update my review, but that's not advantageous. Like, they shouldn't ask me to do that. But I will, to make it more accurate. They don't want it more accurate. It's a bad look. Okay, I followed Kate's advice. They're probably not going to like that I followed their advice. I was like, once again, I was requested to either update or remove it, so I'll update it. My numbers are wrong, commission. However, artists are still in the dark about the total. Some believe it's in the postage. Since they're required to organize postage themselves, it's about $20. It's usually 15, but I'm just, you know, make it look better for Bluethumb. And then they charge the customer a different amount. And then here are my screenshots if you want to see Bluethumb. Oh no, you can't see it. It just says what Kate told me with her amended numbers, like the whole email. Okay, so Amanda is in Sydney. I'm really curious about free shipping. Free shipping. Free shipping? Nah, no. That's not what they do. They don't do that. Let me see a receipt. That's where it is. They do charge shipping. They do. They take a cut from shipping, and it's just not disclosed anywhere. This one, I don't think it cost me that much for postage. It definitely didn't cost me $40. They just charge the $40, or they take it from our cut. It's confusing. It is confusing. And I don't believe 17 is 3% of 149. That does sound like 10%. 9%? Let me see. 9% is 13. 9% is Australian GST. 3% is 4. So if I add another 40, 89 because of the postage, $5. There we go. They charge the GST on the postage that they take as well. It's 9%. She full lied. Okay, I'm hiding most of this. So this is the painting that is in the receipt. I just want to show you how much postage cost me. Postage cost me $17, so not 40. They pocketed the rest. And then they reimbursed me the 17, which is why it went over. Oops. Yeah, there's something fishy going on here. Okay, I'm so sorry the person who owns this artwork, they're a patron and they're going to see this. But my curiosity extends and I want to know. So this one, because the artwork's bigger, I actually did receive only half. Because 2.4, 1.5, just, yes, you could argue that it's 40%. But they say they take 33%, and it's like, did you just lump everything in there and not have us question what that is? Because I don't know what is that. And then you added the GST down here. So it's not the 3% GST plus your 30% commission because you added the GST at the bottom and you charged me for it. Okay, so I was curious about other sales and postage on the other ones. So this example has 2 artworks in it and I only spent about $20 on this postage, but they charged the customer $195. I like to round my numbers. And then Bluethumb's commission is 33%. And then they have the GST down here, but I'm not sure. Did they add the GST in there? I don't think they would because they're greedy. And then payment due to the artist for freight, even though I paid for the freight. I've been told I'm saying freight wrong. Freight? I like the word freight. I could definitely find the receipt of these. I'm very into my admin and I love my spreadsheets. So these two together, I recorded the postage only in one of them. So the other one says 0. I spent $20 on that postage. So they pocketed the extra 80. It technically didn't pay me for it. Here's an outstanding Bluethumb sale. So Stranger, my painting, sold for $340. My cut was technically $200, but postage cost me $40. It must have been overseas. So I got paid $160, which is less. It's $10 less than half price. I'm glad I'm not with them anymore. Did you pocket that and never pay me for it? It kind of looks that way, judging by my spreadsheet. I just went on a very sad thought tangent. Just because these people are willing to pay that much for my artwork, and it's like in a perfect world, if they just bought direct, and had I known that people value my art more than what I'm pricing it, I genuinely would not be broke right now. Like I could pay for that billboard. I'll get there. I'm very confused about this. I need to visualize it. So say this is $300. Bluethumb says they take 30%, and then they add another $40. So 30% is $100. So $40 is going to be around here. I really should have marked this. So that's the postage they add. And then they add GST, and they say it's 3%, but it's actually 10% as you saw in my receipts. What's 10% going to look like? 10% is going to look like this. I wonder why I failed some maths classes in high school. Couldn't draw my pictures. They didn't let me draw my damn pictures. Okay, and then 10%'s there. So the artist only gets that much of a cut, but then they pay back some of the postage. Because they take a cut from the postage, but they tell the customer it's free postage, and that's where the extra money is. Okay, I think I did it. I think I figured it out. If someone's watching this and they're like, no, I'm wrong, please explain because I want to know. And that's why the artist gets a smaller amount of the cut. Now I'm able to verbalize it. So, okay, so it's like they do reimburse the postage, but then they take a cut from our cut that they don't deserve. They didn't do any work for the postage. They didn't pay for any extra postage. What the hell is this cut for? So I'm basing this graph on this receipt from Bluethumb. Okay, so what happens is Bluethumb says they take 30%, 33, because the 10% of the 30% makes the extra 3, which is where I get that from now. But what they don't disclose is the postage that they take from the artist cut. So if we take out the postage, then it adds up to that, which is what they say on the invoice that they collected. But that's not true. They collected this much and they subtract this fee. So that does add up to 33%, but that's not the facts. The facts is that they take 95 out of the artist's cut, and they ask the artist to pay for the postage, which is only 20. So if I change this to 75, you can see the graph says that we actually get paid 60%, not 70%, which is what they say, or 67%. So they're taking a cut here and they're not disclosing it. I'm just confused because they say total collected 1135, but if you add up these two, the total collected is not 1135, it's 1225. And you're telling the customer free postage. It's not clear what's going on here. This is something I'm not too keen on sharing, but for the sake of figuring out what the hell's going on, I will share it. So Bluethumb sales are not all my sales. Most of my sales are elsewhere. So these are my Bluethumb sales. That's the total. And the red is what I've received and the blue is what Bluethumb's received. So that includes reimbursement for postage. And it adds up to 61%. So there's a hidden 10% that we're not being told about, and I guess it's in the postage. I was just reviewing this video after I did it, and I was like, wait a second, because I write down in my spreadsheet the amount that they sold it for. So that should be including the extra cut of postage that they take, and the little amount that they give the artist. Yeah, because 3720 plus 5809, 95, something like that. So it's a different number to what's here. They really are hiding the postage. They're really hiding it. Why would they? Well, I guess because they're dickheads. I got my numbers hidden here. If we go by the numbers that were on the dashboard when I had a Bluethumb, then they're still taking 36.8% from the number they put there. And just digging into this, I'm actually really curious how much they owe me from that cut of the postage. It's not going to be much. It's just going to be a few $100 because I didn't make many sales through them. I don't want to delete it. I just want to click can I not click that? Can I? Feels like all their invoices look different. I'm going to decipher them all and see how much they gypped me on postage. I'm not going to chase them up for it, but I definitely want to know. This email looks weird. But I have screenshots of everything just because I'm so into my admin. Something I won't be able to figure out is how much they're profiting off this framing thing. Wait, there's something else that doesn't... maybe I haven't got my head around it. I don't know if this confirms what I was thinking before, or if they definitely take the postage out of the artist's cut, because I was looking at this. It was just by accident. I was just flipping through the emails. I thought I only had to download this. But 960, take away 33%, so that's left with about 640. Oh, they definitely take the postage out of the artist's cut and keep the postage. Yeah, that's what's going on there. This invoice keeps coming up. It's just so interesting because I came across this email just flipping through them, and it said, so the customer would have seen 220 or more. What I don't understand is why. So I saw a trend where they're charging $40 postage on the smaller artworks and $150 on the larger ones. So why does this add up to 95? Because we all know that when you post two things in one parcel, postage gets cheaper, but you just decide to take an extra 15 out of my cut. And here you can quite clearly see that they genuinely are taking it out of the artist's cut. They're not taking it. Stop it. Gosh, all the shit I'm digging up. Okay, escape. So I went through my emails and I came across this and I was like, maybe I should click on those. So I clicked on them and I found it. I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to put it on top of here. This is the clause in their terms and conditions that says the artist, let me read it out to you. All artwork prices displayed on Bluethumb must be equal to or lower than artwork sales elsewhere. And the artists agree. So it's very oppressive. You can't have your artwork anywhere else in the world for a cheaper price than what they have here. despite their massive cuts and their sneaky postage cuts. Look at the language they use about the artist. The artist may attempt to sell their artworks via other means. We will do it successfully, thank you very much. Wow, I'm liking this less and less the more I read. So they have this other rule here where if you accidentally sell an artwork twice, for example, if someone buys it on your website and then like an hour later you haven't gotten home to take it down off Bluethumb, someone buys it on Bluethumb, they say, so like technically the first buyer wins. Where a duplicate is sold, the artist must supply the artwork to the Bluethumb purchaser. It's a bit oppressive. Hey, by the way, this is a membership agreement, and they double down on this. They really, really hate artists selling artworks elsewhere for a fair price. I find this part outrageous, but other people might find it odd. I guess, I don't know. I think it's fine, but I didn't follow these rules because you guys saw I've got some epic way of packing my artworks. So they give very detailed, specific ways to pack the artworks, like this much bubble wrap, this much blah, blah, blah. There you go. This just keeps getting worse in my opinion. So if there's someone like down the road and you want to deliver the artwork yourself because it's just safer for the artwork to do that, I've done that with other galleries though. Artists who deliver the artworks themselves will not be reimbursed the shipping costs. So they pocket the entire amount, even though you're going to the effort of delivering it yourself. That, like, I've had that situation with another online gallery, Artfinder, which is great, and no one questioned the postage going to me at all. No one questioned that. I didn't entirely read it. I skimmed through it, but I'm quite sure that they don't address what happens to the extra postage money. They just pocket it. I am going to now cross-reference the postage they took versus the postage it actually cost me. This was a sneaky one because you have to read what you've agreed to, but Afterpay wasn't a thing when I signed up to Bluethumb, so they must have sent out a "we updated our terms and agreements." So if the customer decides to pay by Afterpay, the artist cops the whole thing. And you can see it here. Which is very blah blah blah. A 5% charge will be shared with the artist as a result, and there will be a 5% reduction in the sale. Is that 5%? 24 sounds like it's 5% of 500. Let me double check that. Oh my god, that is so slimy. So they added the shipping cost, which they pocket anyway, so that's their money. And they charge the 5% on the total amount. So yes, it looks like the customer's invoice does say 500 and adds the shipping. If I'm going to get politically correct here, you should be charging the 5% on the 450 because we all know you pocket the rest of the shipping. That's your money. This is something I'll never know. I'll probably need other artists who sold more artworks that are framed to weigh in on this. They told the framer it cost $530, but my receipt says $535. Did you just want like an extra 33% on that $5? Like, that's not a very businessy thing to do, to change the numbers around. Okay, so this is the postage Bluethumb charged. Well, charged me, not the customer, and this is how much they reimbursed me. And I actually, like, this is not all the artwork sold through Bluethumb, so that's just the ones I found in the emails. I'll have to hunt down my actual admin records. They already owe me almost $400. Like, I'm so gypped. Like, all the artists got so gypped with this. Wait a second. There we go. Okay, so I removed the ones where Bluethumb actually did come and pick up the artwork and then post it themselves. So there's going to be a discrepancy there because we don't know how much they actually paid the courier. They probably have a good deal because they do this every day. So these are the ones that are applicable to what I'm hunting down. So they have gypped me by $260 on just 10-ish sales. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And one included 2 artworks. That's a slimy move. That's disgusting. Ugh, why did you do that, Bluethumb? Like, this is not a good look. I have it out here so you can zoom and pause and read. It doesn't say anywhere that I've seen that Bluethumb takes the shipping out of the artist's cut and then pockets it. It doesn't say it anywhere. I don't believe it even says it here in the terms and conditions. Fuck off. No, they're gonna fuck off. Dismiss. Get lost. Get lost. I don't want this here. What? Are you forcing me to vote? You can't even give them a bad vote. Alright, whatever. It says nowhere that the postage is taken from the artist's cut and given to Bluethumb. It says it absolutely nowhere here. And if someone reads it, please definitely point it out to me. I want to know because I feel like they definitely owe me money. They owe all the artists money. Oh, and this thing down here, they've got this weird thing where they don't let you contact the new art owner if something goes wrong because they're worried that you're going to steal the sale from them for a good reason. Just in case someone, like a potential buyer and an artist manage to communicate, Bluethumb wants you to know that should the artist send you a hyperlink to a website, they can't confirm whether it's free from errors or viruses. They want you to know it because it's in the T's and C's. They can't confirm whether that website is free of viruses. Oh, I found it. I found it in the T's and C's. You can't put your Instagram on here. Okay, well, that's within their rules. I should have been following that. But it's so fucking weird. Everyone, why did you kick me off? All the artists have the Instagram on there. Oh, guys, I found it. Okay, they don't support defamatory or racist things. Only on the website, though. On the Facebook group between artists, they're all for it. Okay, so this is a receipt from Artfinder. I am assuming that this is common practice because this is the way I've seen it on all the other online galleries. I think I've only sold on like 4 maximum other online galleries. So you set the shipping yourself, and then they add the shipping to the cost, and then they take away their commission on the whole thing. And then they still pay you the full shipping amount. So because you set the shipping yourself, you should know how much shipping is. I guess they do take the commission on the shipping, but it's like I set it myself, so that's only me to blame. And there is no, you're going to spend this much and we're going to pocket the rest. There's none of that shit going on. This is Saatchi Art, and I recommend them because there's real art on here. It's not decor shit. Like it's real art with like concept and feeling. Anyway, and Saatchi Art likes to do it this way, where they have their own courier for all the artworks, no matter what, and they organize all the postage. So there is no conning the artist in this one. I asked my brother a law question, and then I was just Googling oppressive contract definition because I believe it is, and then it was like triple C app, and I was like, wait, A triple C? Can the A triple C make them pay me my money? Because like it's not much, but I really need money right now, and I believe it's legally owed to me. Wait, I just want to get in on this. I want to see report an issue. I want to make a little bit of an example for other artists. Your money is your money. Okay, let's see what kind of rights I've got. I copied and pasted this because my phone was full when I was typing it, but I tried being really straightforward. The nature of my request is claiming back money withheld from me. This is the business. I'm an artist who is selling with them. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I say that they claim they take 33%. And then I quoted the 2 links to their terms and Cs and membership agreements. And I say that I was only given 61%. They're not approachable. There's no way I could approach them, especially after my review. There's no way I could do that. Plus, in general, they're so politically correct, they wouldn't give me the money anyway. So, yeah, let's get back my $260. Wait, hair update. There's just a lot going on, and there is no time to wait for this to dry and make it look pretty for the camera. Anyway, I have decided that I'm going to confront Bluethumb about the money they've wrongfully withheld from me. And after my whole like car alarm video, I definitely know the definition of theft, and it's to intentionally withhold something from someone else. So that's what's going on here, but you know, it's a bit accusatory to say this theft, but wrongfully withheld. And I just like, I've already drafted the email, but that's way too premature. I need to get my ducks in a row. I need to wait on the ACCC's response. I think I should speak to Fair Trading and see what my rights are with this, because I genuinely believe that money is mine. Even though it's a small amount, it's for the principle. I left them over the principle of backing someone who is acting slanderous and racism, and I will fight for my little amount of money over the principle. So, you know, place your bets now about where this is going to go. I really expect them to be like, oh, well, you agreed to this amount at the bottom of the listing, so we're not giving you your money. I reckon that's what they're going to do. But if they do give me my money, then I'm just going to tell all the artists, like, hey, this is what happened. You have grounds to get your money too. I'm going to speak to an artist now, and I'm really curious about what his invoices say. He said he doesn't focus on finances that much, so that's what he said. And then there's another artist that I was emailing, and I've just decided to keep them all anonymous. And by the way, the astrology yesterday was incredibly interesting for this event. So the moon was conjoining my north node, my natal north node in the second house. So it's like my emotions were very much like my assets, my money. And Mercury and Pluto conjoined, but in the fourth house. But except Mercury rules my 11th and my 8th. So it's like the collective and businesses, and Pluto rules in the modern rulership the first, so it's like me. So I kind of see all that. Plus, Uranus is still squaring Chiron, and I'm like, I think this would just end after I confront them, but it's then gonna square Mars. So it's like, is this gonna keep going a little bit? I spoke to the other artist, and he is playing devil's advocate, because mainly I was like, I want to know if I'm wrong. I really want to know. So he's pointing out the pros and the cons, but he does want to help. So, and I also read him the other artist's email. I'll read you that email. And I found this, and it's a little bit smoking gun. So it says Bluethumb will pay the artist all monies collected. All monies collected. So we've figured out that they are lying on the invoice. So all monies collected, including GST where relevant, less a commission fee, which we all know is 33%, as defined by the artist. I just have to go read membership. Less any extra charges incurred due to a shipping after day 5 business days. So is that extra postage money waiting for day 5 and you're just deciding not to pay it out? Because is that what the buffer money is for? They refer to membership, but it's literally not anywhere. It's not anywhere. It's literally... I'm looking for one of these side things to highlight as membership. Well, I guess it doesn't say... it doesn't say anywhere what that extra money is as per the membership. And this is the terms and conditions, and it's not in here either. So if we go back to that paragraph, there's also a few places that say the artist is responsible for any additional fees. But it's like, is Bluethumb going to allocate those extra funds to any additional fees? Or are they just going to be like, nah, there was an extra charge? Because I want to know. If we go back to this statement here, Bluethumb will pay the artist all monies collected, including GST, less a commission defined by the... Oh, okay, so less refer membership by the artist. So we have to go and find the commission, less that commission. So if it says anywhere... How did they... I don't know how to spell. Okay, let's see the commission here. The artist will be liable for all admin costs. What? Commission owing and refunds to purchasers may face legal action. What do you mean we're liable for admin costs? Aren't you the business conducting? I would never tell any of my clients to go and pay me money for me doing my admin. I wouldn't. Is that what's going on here? Because it's not labeled as administrative costs, so therefore you haven't told us where that cost is. Okay, since the other paragraph defines that the commission is split on the entire amount taken, and this paragraph tells you exactly what the commission is, then none of this states where the postage goes. Anyway, it says the artist lists the price of the artwork and the usual 67 to 33 split whole, then calculated. More, 67 to 33. They don't mention anywhere about the extra money that's taken from the entire amount. Do you think that's why they changed the look of their invoices? This is an older invoice from 2020. So the price of the artwork, then they added shipping, total collected, and then they charge for shipping, even though we shipped it ourselves. I believe this is incorrect. I believe they've lied to the artists about how much they've actually collected. What they've actually collected is this much, and they added this to... So since their agreement says the total collected amount, oh, but then are they using jargon here and saying, no, this is collected? Because if we're talking about real words and not what you've defined it as, the total collected would be 1230, because 6 plus 7 is 13, 9 plus 2 is 11, as in 1230. Is that right, maths? I don't know. Here we go. They haven't defined what total collected is. Therefore, it means just its actual real life definition. There is only one space in the terms and conditions where it says collected. So what I mean is, if they haven't defined it here, then it just means what the word means. How much money you collected from the customer. And you did not collect that amount from the customer. You were just deducting the extra postage from my cut. Very quick update. I spoke to the other artists, and I'm finding it very interesting that other artists are like really willing to give me information. One of them said that he sees off-color things about Bluethumb being posted in the Facebook group very often, but they get taken down straight away, so he wants to send me screenshots. And I spoke to Fair Trading. So here's what's going on. There are 3 things that Fair Trading thinks is bad. They think that this is not what's going on here. So misleading or altered guarantees. So they're telling the artists that they're getting 67%, and that's misleading, that's altered. Also, they can't rely on disclaimers and fine print. It turns out the government's just totally not up with that, which I had no idea. So in this example here, the fine print is here, which doesn't even make sense because I organized the shipping. But it's not in the terms and conditions, and it's not in the membership agreement. So this just doesn't work for them. Silence or failure to disclose. This is applicable because they just failed to disclose it through the entire terms and conditions. So yeah, they said write up a really good email, and they have samples so it doesn't sound like me, because I can sound a bit harsh. And then tell them if they don't respond by a certain date, then Fair Trading can come in and be like, what the hell? What is this? I just clicked download because I wanted to like download it and attach it to my email. Fake reviews and testimonials. Telling me to change people's reviews counts as fake. Oh, isn't this interesting? I didn't know. Misleading, that's what I want to point to. Part of me is like, how is one thing that they've done fall under so many categories? Wrongly accepting payment for goods or services. So you're wrongly accepting payment for postage that I did. Oh, it literally says right here. I feel so litigious today. I want to go and do something fun. Okay, this is, I really want to have it ready to go. It's way better than the one I wrote up this morning because like I didn't have any information from Fair Trading. So I'm just going to like sit on it for a few days and then see if I can reword it to make it sound less litigious. And also I want to see the other artist's invoice. I can't force you to pay me. However, I'll be making a complaint with the ACCC and Fair Trading. I don't want them to think it's an alternative. Like I'm telling them that I'm making a complaint so that they know I'm serious. I'm making a complaint whether or not they pay me because I'm thinking about the other artists. I'm like, they're all getting gypped here. They're all getting gypped, and I can't knowingly know what they're doing and then just do nothing. So I will be making a complaint whether or not. This gets a little bit interesting on whether they change their ways after this. Let it go. Unconscionable conduct. So if they pay me, or like if they come to realize that what they've done is wrong and they continue to charge other artists this fee, watch out for this one after this video ends. Okay, so I'm doing the math and I'm laying out really clearly so I can show the other artists where the discrepancy is. They can definitely let me know if I'm wrong somewhere, but I feel like my math is pretty good. I'm pretty good at math. And then it comes in the question whether you're going to calculate the 67% on the total minus what we spent on postage, or you're just going to calculate it on the entire thing. But because Bluethumb's greedy, they're not going to let that cut take into their cut. So we're going to stick to what their T's and C's say from the total collected from the customer, not the total that they just made up. Okay, here's the recalculated 67%. And this is the sum of what they took. So it's about half of what I estimated. I still need to do some digging because I think I'm missing some information. When the amount was more like 300, it didn't seem as petty, but it might come across quite petty when I email them, be like, hey, you're breaking the law, give me $135. But they kind of are. And it's about the principle. Yeah, it's about the principle. I could do $135. I could really do with that much money. But then again, you think about like all these artists that are getting ripped off, and oh, I'll show you. So I don't have the invoice yet. But I wrote it down. Lol, that chick, Naomi Bitch. I didn't realize her name rhymed with bitch until I said it out loud on the phone. But she called this guy stupid. So she's out there just being a dick to everyone. He paid $160 on postage and he only spent $67 on the postage. So Bluethumb pocketed that extra $100. So the postage on other people's artworks might actually be a lot more than what mine was. There's one more calculation I can do. What is this? Depending on the phrasing, I can choose between these numbers. So this number is calculated on the shipping amount not existing and the 67% calculated off the full amount. This is calculated on I completed the entire shipping amount, therefore the money allocated to shipping entirely should go to me. Where's there no number there? I need to put a number there. And this one's calculated on, okay, now that you've paid me the shipping, we're going to divvy up the extra amount. So you can see by the spreadsheet, no matter which way you decide to interpret what they've done here, I'm still gypped money. So I'm going to approach them with the one that's most simple to follow, and it's also the most beneficial for me, and I just have the other two to rely on. It also follows what they've done in the past when they've organized shipping, and it also follows what other galleries, like Artfinder as an example, have done. So like when they organize the shipping, they take the full amount. So it's like when I organize it, why are you still taking? You didn't supply the service in the eyes of the government. So also you guys have seen like videos of me like packing the artworks and all the effort I put into like packaging and everything, and it takes 3 hours and there is investment. So it's like if you're going to allocate the money, which you say on the invoice that you are, allocate it this way because you didn't supply the service. God damn it, for the scenario where I meant to calculate that shipping just didn't exist, it would be unfair to me if it didn't exist only on the ones where I organized it. So it also has to not exist on the ones where Bluethumb organized it. So I'm trying to like figure out the total amount paid. I could just ask the person, but nah, for this painting Trauma, because there was a discount on it, but it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So if they paid $2,500 less the discount, that is not 2,385. That's not 2,385. And then the numbers just don't add up here. We're looking at this section here. 2,500 minus the $265 discount is not 2,385. So we're trying to get to 2,385. And if we add the extra $150 allocated to shipping, 2,385. Oh, I got it. Wait, why did they add shipping? Shouldn't they subtract shipping? Was that, because it was added to the price. Okay, so the original price wasn't 2,500, it was 2,650, and then they applied the discount, and they added shipping. God, that's confusing. Crepe has joined the party. I think they did it without the shipping. 737, there we go. Okay, I'm just going to spend a little time checking numbers, but in case you're wondering, like, how do I know that they haven't already added the postage that they took back into the payment that they gave me? And it's because on my spreadsheet, I write down what I put my final value just for the artwork, not including the postage that they add on top later, and that's how I know. You won't believe this. It's the same problem that comes up in coding all the time. So I needed this number to match this number in order to approach them with my two scenarios, because this is the discrepancy between 67% of what they took and what they actually paid me, $500. And I was like, oh, maybe it's one of my cells. And look at this. I didn't do the plus in this cell. And now it matches exactly. It matches exactly. My math is perfect. I felt like I was getting a bit greedy as I saw the numbers go up. I'm glad to see the numbers match now and I have a solid argument. But they've gypped me of $500 and $5 or $4.95 over 15 invoices. And you imagine how many artists altogether they've gypped. Like, this is probably hundreds of thousands of dollars that they've taken from artists. I am cool with any payout they give me. This is not hush money when they pay me. I'm not staying quiet. Because if they pay me, it means they know they were wrong. That's kind of. But I'm like, extra $500. I'll really go for that. But they're probably going to go for $290. I want to show you two screenshots another artist sent me. So this is the back end of Bluethumb, and I did ask him, I was curious about the rule where you have to price your artwork the same everywhere, and he says he does because he doesn't want his art lovers to like have to bargain hunt, whereas I like bargain hunters and I want people to find me directly, and I'm ditching the online galleries as soon as I financially can. So that's a difference in opinion there. Yes, anyway, so you price your artwork and then this is the total displayed price, as in this is what the customer sees and this is what the customer pays and this is what Bluethumb total amount is collected. They add the shipping, they remove their commission after adding the shipping, and then they do this fine print thing here, which I never saw. It's not in the terms and conditions though, and it's not advertised. So this actually goes against this rule here that we just learnt about, which is actually a law, relying on disclaimers and fine print. So you can't do that to excuse misleading or deceptive conduct. Haha, so Bluethumb can't rely on that to say no to me. And then it's just interesting here, they just invite you to put your socials on there. The other artist, he's like, I reckon this is definitely for them to tag you in social medias, it's not for you to share. But it's interesting, it's very inviting. Since I'm arguing this, I figured I need to pretend I'm like part of the public and then open like an incognito tab and do the research and screen record it. So I did, and I just searched what is Bluethumb's commission as if I'm a total random, just curious. And I did do this years ago when I was curious. And it just Google comes up with 30%. And then you click on that and you find it here. They're literally advertising 30%. And then you go to more tips. And someone even asks, they're like, where is it calculated? And they kind of dodge the question. So they're definitely hiding things. And then I did another hunt, like a real deep dive, because I was like, oh, I can't really find anything that supports them taking the postage. So that rule definitely falls in the fine print. And then, yeah, they only say the 30% plus GST. So they literally don't say it anywhere. This is their shipping agreement. It's targeted at the customers, so there's no information about this for the artists. As in, there is no disclaimer here about them taking the money. I found it. I'm going to screenshot this. It's important. Okay, so in the case of a refund, this is for the shipping and why Bluethumb might keep it, and the artwork is returned, because I had one artwork returned. The artwork will be returned to the artist, and the artist will not be liable for freight and administrative costs associated with the original delivery and return of the artwork. A commission will not be applied, and refund or return, as in like the sale never happened kind of thing. Insurance does not say that they keep the money for insurance either. They just don't address it. I've read this so thoroughly, they just don't address it. I'm trying to read this from the perspective of like, where are you addressing the extra money? Because you say here, this is the closest thing I can find to my problem. Artists who send or deliver artworks under Bluethumb instruction will be reimbursed actual freight cost. And they actually did send me an instruction email. It's looking so much good. Anyway, you say nothing about the extra money. You can't just pocket it. You can't just pocket it. You can't charge me a service I'm supplying you. This reminds me of what I was doing right before when I was looking at all the online galleries and I was looking at their percentages, because I literally did look into detail, and watching me now, you probably believe that. And I was reading that comment from the chick being like the percentage, because she obviously thought the same thing. So like from the perspective of someone new, it sounds like they're saying, oh, you 70-30 split. It literally sounds like that, plus 3% commission. And then they're adding on top that you also get reimbursed postage. That's the way it sounds really good that way, but they don't say that they cut a huge chunk of postage that's not even realistic out of your cut. They don't say that. Okay, I think I've verbalized this well. Your website very clearly advertises that you want the artist to believe they have a 70% cut. You write on the invoice a different total collected to what the customer actually paid. Since we're calculating the split on what the customer paid, it's against the law to mislead the artist by subtracting the postage and putting it next to the words total collected. I think that's very smoking gun. You can't argue with that. I think I've reached the end of my bandwidth with this one. Because yesterday I spent a lot of time doing maths, and now the maths is perfect, which is good, and drafting the email. But I think I'm just gonna spend an hour now and then just send it off and have a PDF ready. I looked at the planets and they're at an interesting place, but I'm not equipped enough to interpret what's going on. So Venus and the moon is conjoining Neptune in the 3rd, and that's also quincunxing Chiron in the 10th. And the sun is in the 4th, and it's because everything's at 20 degrees right now. Everything's at 20 degrees, so there's a lot going on. So the sun's in the 4th, and it's probably squaring Uranus, but it's not showing up on my app, but it's definitely opposing Chiron in the 10th. So there's just shit going on. That's what's going on, and I can't interpret it. I need an astrologer. Anyway, I'm not gonna wait on the other artist's invoice. Don't you have it somewhere where you can just easily access it in 5 minutes? Obviously not, I guess, but I'm not gonna wait. I've got enough homework. And what I'm coming to realize is, now that I've read the laws and stuff, I looked at them sideways when they had me update my review, and I looked at them sideways when I saw the T's and the little fine print. And it's now I'm kind of realize if a business makes you look at them sideways, they're probably doing something illegal, which I totally didn't know. YOLO, I'm gonna put a drop shadow on this. Where's drop shadow? Drop shadow, drop shadow. Drop shadow. Yeah. Make it look all fucking easy to read. You know what? That just looks a little odd in the corner. I need to put an outer glow as well. Just a little. Beautiful. Look at your terms and conditions. This is where you tell me my cut. And I've got my PDF and I'm ready to school some Bluethumb workers. With receipts. I've genuinely got receipts because I don't know, I live in fear that one day the government's really gonna audit me. So I just keep all the receipts for everything. This is page 1, and each page links to one of these dot points of the law that they've broken. So there's the dot point, and then there's a dot point within that dot point. So each of these have their own page. Misleading or alter guarantees. So here I point out that when I Google, when I search, they keep advertising 30% even in the review that they made me update. In page 2, I also address that, and I say how they say the 67% cut, and this is where they state it, but they don't outrightly state it. It's a bit read between the lines, but yeah, that's where they state in the T's and C's, so they have to go by that. Page 3 or dot point 3. You cannot structure your invoices to confuse the artist. They're straight up confusion. It looks different every single time. It's just confusing. And total collected, they lie in this one. And I think the rest do say total collected, but they just proceed to calculate different numbers. And then in this one, I mentioned the relying on disclaimers and fine print. So I'm you can't rely on this. You can't do that, especially after the sale. And then here I continue about the disclaimers and fine print. I honestly didn't notice this until the other guy sent it to me. And then I write here, you can't, common sense doesn't really expect artists to whip out a calculator and double check these numbers, because I, as a human, would, when I'm typing in something here, I would assume that this is the correct calculation because it changes in real time. I wouldn't whip out a calculator and change that. You just, no, I don't like that behavior. Silence or failure to disclose. So this was a bit tough to prove because I'm proving silence, but then I just outline which ones are talking about the relevant topic and how they just don't mention it. And then here I talk about wrongly accepting payment. So I say they've wrongly accepted payment there, but I have proof of my postage. This is what I meant by receipts. Like, I take photos of everything. So I've got me packing the artwork, I've got the receipt, and the receipt tracking number matches the tracking number here. So I then repeat that in the next page with another artwork. And then fake reviews and testimonials. I'm just kind of like, by the way, that was not good what you did there. So, and this one, the calculations. So judging by what the guy in the ACCC said, I think he's just saying just argue one number. So I'm just going to argue the good number. And I gave them this, and it also links back to the first few pages where you say 67%. And then I gave them this, and then I show them the sum so that they can calculate their own one here. In general, I just have like a personal opinion that you can't win an argument with an idiot. Like, smart people, when they argue, they just kind of say like, this is my issue, and the other one goes, this is my issue, and then you come to a compromise. But like, when someone has two brain cells, they just say, I'm right. And you just leave and go and live your life. Wait a second, I just realized something. This amount only evens out the 67% that they took from the customer. It doesn't add the postage on top, which is what Bluethumb advertises. Like, they say you get the 67% and then we add postage on top. But then it's like the whole, like, they act like it's from their pocket. So I'm just going to say like 239. They can add it on top if they feel like it, but $800. It's like, that's quite an argument that I have to form there. I don't know if anyone's going to shoot their pants over this, though. I don't know if they're going to care. Cool. Sent. I think that's actually quite concise. What I'm arguing, yes. I know designers are notorious for spelling mistakes. I don't know if lawyers are. Capabilities. Yeah, capabilities. There was no one spit instead of split. I don't think they put it in a document that checks spelling before they put it on the website. I'm just waiting for my dessert to cool between painting breaks. So I decided to take the piss. It's time for a typo montage. Integration. Whoa. That's not a word though. Well, I guess you could say that that's not a word either. But that's not a word. I don't think a lawyer wrote this up. Look at me, I'm having word typos. Is that just the copy and paste, or did they actually do that? No, it's actually there. Discrepancy. Additional. Incurred. Discretion. Incurred. Additional. Reimbursed. Scheduled. Additional. Misleading. Is that how you spell it? I think there's one S in misleading. Yeah, there certainly is. No frames of Gauss. Conserves. Reside. If conserves are reside over... they did... Phonetically, they did it right. Account. Deactivated. No, that's correct. It's just American. Whoever did this must hate them too. That's a sneaky one. Let me fix that up here. Maybe I should send in the corrections too. So close. I'm pretty sure this is it. There you go. Man, this is just embarrassing. This disclaimer does not attempt to exclude liability. What are you talking about? That's exactly what you did. It's exactly what you did. The change of font is really interesting from someone who's just like done lots of copying and pasting it through designing. I think they took this section with no typos from someone else and then they added this one at the end, and of course the ones with all the typos. That email response date, I just picked a date like a week in advance. And then I was like, oh man, like, because shit hits the fan when the moon's been passing Uranus lately. On, like, not every single month, but like often. Well, 3 times now. So I was like, oh damn it, did I accidentally like do that on the day that the moon passes Uranus? But no, that's the 16th, not the 15th. On the 15th, it passes Jupiter, so. And so I did not pick a good day for them to respond to that email. Or maybe I picked a good day for me and a bad day for them. I picked an interesting day. Okay, so it's the 15th, around like, it's late afternoon, like 3-ish. And Bluethumb hasn't responded. I don't think they're gonna respond in the next 2 hours. And I just think that's a weird way to handle this situation. It's like, maybe they think it's gonna go away, but it's like, because they did that, just something about this just doesn't sit right with me. Like, there's something off here, and I can't really just pinpoint it with words, but it's like if someone went up to me and said, hey, like, you've wrongfully taken this money from me, XYZ, here are the dot points, I would read that and I would respond, and if I thought I was right, I'd be like, wait, let's discuss this. Like, I don't really think I did because of this, this, and this. That's what I would do, and I feel like that's what normal people would do, but they're politically correct. So it's just left me in the mood to just rock the boat a little bit. I will rock the boat. I've dealt with fair trading in the past, but I didn't do anything wrong, and all fair trading did was mediate. And I don't know how the ACCC is going to work with this, because it's like, I'm just one person, I'm not a collective. My voice is not loud enough for this, but maybe I can do something with social media just to make my voice just a little bit louder. I'm going to make like a post. But I don't like it when people get naggy or like gossipy on social media. I'm just gonna like, because I think this would be the best way to contact the other artists, as opposed to like going through my spreadsheet and finding their emails, which are probably outdated, because I think it was like 2019 when I contacted them. So I'm just gonna make like a little bit of a short 1-minute post outlining the issues. I did a little bit of maths. I went onto Bluethumb because they've got a list of artists, and this is the list copied here. So there's 22,000 artists over, and they just state clearly they've got 368,000 artworks, 509. So I calculated 744 divided by 15, because that's how many artworks I sold through Bluethumb, which is 49.6 times the amount of artworks, which is $18 million owed to the artists. It's a big claim. I'm gonna put it in my post. Artists selling on Bluethumb, you straight up in Bluethumb ripped off. So Bluethumb, they advertise that they take 30% out of the total collected from the buyer and reimburse shipping on top, which would be good if they weren't ripping off. And then you'll see in your invoices, they take an extra cut, allocate to shipping. You then post the artwork yourself, and they only reimburse you what you gave to the post office. They pocket the rest. So my total adds up to about 61%. It's unlawful for them to take a fee for a service they didn't provide, as in I did the shipping. They can't add that little fine print on the end of the invoice that goes against their big slogan. They can't deceive through undisclosed information, and it's just straight up not mentioned in the membership agreement and the terms and conditions, which is spelt very poorly, by the way. You should fix that. I'm owed $744 over only 15 artworks I sell elsewhere as well. So there's 22,844 artists listed on Bluethumb across 378,000 artworks, which means that they could be stealing about $18,278 from the artist. Please share this so that through 6 degrees separation, the other artists can see where their money has gone. Okay, so I made a very brief and informative video, and I've shared it across the social medias. It could get buried on Instagram, but it's also on TikTok and YouTube, and TikTokers love drama. They love their tea. So I'm hoping that way it can get to the other artists, and they can be like, what the fuck, Bluethumb? And I know I was trying to avoid drama, specifically when the moon passed Uranus, and it's doing that right now. But at least this time, I'm the one inflicting the drama. I'm stirring the pot a little bit here. But the reason I did it now is because I'm noticing with Pluto, like when Mercury hit Pluto, that's when I got the information. When Mars hit Pluto, I was kind of like pissed off. And now Venus is about to hit Pluto, and then it's going to conjoin Mars, and it's going to trine my natal Jupiter. So I'm kind of like, I want to catch that because it's the two benefics. But like Jupiter's like... maybe it'll come out and be like, here's a good thing in the form of something bad. So my post is getting I wasn't expecting this. The most attention on YouTube. Let's see, TikTok. I think it's getting like no attention on TikTok. It's getting like no attention on Instagram either. Let it go. It's one play on TikTok. Oh, all my other ones have like 200 plays, which is weird. Okie dokie, time to make my complaint. Painful. Fuck yeah, I'm so glad that this is not like huge form. I don't think it is. So Bluethumb responded alongside a very instant payout of the lower $500 amount. Kate here. I really hate that her name's Kate because my mom's name is Kate, Ekaterina, but like she's actually a nice person. So Kate was the marketing, PR, optics person. Just stepping in here to say sorry to hear about your complaint. Oh, I read it before she was saying sorry, but no, she's just sorry I kind of complicated her day. Like, sorry about that, Kate. We've reviewed the payout calculations made to you and they are correct. What? Wait, no, I read it before as my calculations were correct. Nevertheless, in order to part ways in best terms possible, we've given you money as a gesture of goodwill. So that means that my total from Bluethumb now raises back up to 67%. But none of the other artists have. So I just want to like break down the email a little bit because I believe that they only responded because I filed a complaint with the ACCC and Fair Trading because I had made a point. But in her email, she doesn't actually apologize again. Like, come on, Kate, like get better at your apologies. And she says her calculations are correct, but it's like, I'm not arguing that you calculated the reduced 67 amount wrong. I'm arguing that you shouldn't have taken that extra cut. And that entirely went over your head. Like, you know what I was saying about like 2 brain cells? I'm right, but at least they're like 2 brain cells. I'm right. We got to keep the optics good, so let's just pay her. Other artists, you need to stand up for yourselves. Like, seriously, don't let the man take your money. So I guess that's resolved. Thanks for the money that I deserved. I don't know. It's done. I'm moving on. I've got 5 other things to do today. I have one final thought on this because I've been discussing with people the outcome. I was like, yeah, they paid me, but they said they were right. Discussing with people what they think and stuff, and they were like, no, like they're not. They didn't go over their heads. They see what they've done, but they then don't want to admit it because then they'd have to like change their website, and maybe people are gonna be like, oh, like you conned us before. Which is hard for me to understand the morals there. I don't see it. But there's this thing that I think sometimes where you're either an idiot or a dickhead when you do something wrong. So it's like you kind of want to be the idiot, but I guess they're intentionally going to continue. So I tried, whatever. I pointed it out. They know. Also, there's this thing that I can now verbalize, just judging off my memory. That's what they were doing in their emails and their communications. They're being incredibly passive-aggressive. I'm like, that's what they're doing. That's it. And you'll see that sometimes I'm quite sharp in my videos towards people. It's like, because I want you to know exactly what the situation is. I don't want you to think everything's okay when it's not. So, 16 hours ago, I received a response from the ACCC. So they only just saw it. And 10 hours ago, I received a response from Fair Trading. So Fair Trading helps you get your money back, helps mediate. The ACCC identifies when businesses are doing the wrong thing. And they don't really help you personally, but they want to know. Did my social media post actually make them? Oh, I thought we'll never know. We will never know. We will never ever know. Because I got some sort of, they leveled it out to 67%. They didn't add the shipping on top, but I have no beef. I do have beef that they're still ripping us off, but it's not me. Oh, the ACCC actually responded. It turns out I put my work email in that one, in like the proper one. So I'll fill this out because I don't like what happened. Kate is so annoying. This fucking chick, can you stop? I've never reached out to you. Does your face look annoying too? She kind of looks annoying as well. I feel like really responding, be like, if you have further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I really feel like saying, are you still ripping artists off? You know what? She's annoying. I might as well annoy her back. I sent that out of anger. I'm not going to click undo. Should I? Nah. Should I? Is it going to stay there until I... oh, well, okay. She really pisses me off. She's so passive-aggressive. Excellent, you stuck around. I'm so grateful. Click like and boost the algorithms a little bit. I think this one's important for other artists to see. You saw that I tried to contact them. I don't know, there's this weird aura of, we're not gonna rock the boat. Rock the boat, they're ripping you off. And the customers, I'm not entirely sure who they're ripping off, but they're taking money from people who it's meant to be at, and they're pocketing it. Anyway, I have experienced a mix of unfortunate events in the past year. You probably see from the previous two videos, the alarm and the canvas hunt, but sales were tough. And if you feel like buying an artwork and you're not sure where to find me, just go direct. Please buy direct from any artist that you love. Just look up their name, figure out how to spell my name. That's how you do it. Or come support me through Patreon, see all the other videos. Yeah. Buy my coloring in book series. Buy the whole series.